Hello everyone, welcome to Knowledge India once again. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about different configuration management options available on AWS and how to use them effectively. Okay, now we have got four things here as you can see on the screen. Let us first talk about user data. I've talked briefly about user data in the other tutorial where we have launched EC2 instances. Okay, now we know that we specify user data. User data is nothing but it is the script, any code which you can write which runs on the command line. So depending on the Linux or Windows platform which you are choosing for your EC2 instance, you write the script accordingly, and this gets executed once during your instance launch, not on every stop and start of the instance, rather only one time when your instance is launched, right? Now, because it is scripted, you can go ahead and make it dynamic as well, which means based on certain parameters, you can create your user data to pick to pick certain files, or to you can even play with the URL, which from where you are trying to download some file. For example, you can go ahead and write in the user data that say Apache web server should get installed, and a particular file or zip file should get downloaded from a URL, and then it gets deployed. Now this complete thing can be scripted as part of user data, and the URL which you are downloading, right? That URL can be dynamic, right? That maybe in some configuration file you store what is the latest version number, and based on that, uh, that particular variable is picked and the URL changes. Okay, so you can bring some amount of dynamic information while you are creating the user data as well. Now, for what scenarios or for what purposes would you use user data? Anything which changes more frequently, and if you want to do that part on your instances, you can go ahead and use user data for that purpose. It basically eradicates the need for an admin to go ahead and log into the machine and do those things manually. Instead of that, once the machine gets created or machine is launched, at the backend the user data runs, and all of such things are completed, right? And also, once the instance is launched, the person would be like, you would be able to log into the machine. The user data execution does not block that, but at the backend, whatever you have specified in the script, that gets executed. Okay, I'll try to show you an example on the same. uh, so that's about user data. Now, anything which you want to do on n number of machines, you can also bake or basically do those changes as part of your AMI itself. For example, anything which is which is heavy in nature. For example, any OS level policies, or let's say any antivirus installation which takes a lot of time. All such things you can do one time on a machine, create an AMI from that, and then use this particular AMI to launch any further EC2 instances, right? So now, what would be the benefit of this particular approach? Nothing, there is no change or nothing gets executed when your instance is launched. Rather, everything, all the changes are already baked into your AMI. For example, I might have a Windows EC2 instance. I'll go ahead and apply five operating system level secure policies. I'll block some ports. I'll probably go ahead and install IIS, right? I can do all such things as part of the AMI itself. And then whenever I use this particular custom AMI and create an EC2 instance, all such things will come there by default, and I don't have to do it. So anything which is more like which is more of the sort of your organization level standards, and on every machine you need to do for sure, and that particular change or software does not gets updated very frequently, you can go ahead and put that as part of AMI itself. Whereas user data is more useful in order to automate things or probably install things which change more frequently but take lesser time during the installation. If you use user data for things which take more time to install, then basically your instance comes up and a lot of time gets wasted in the start, right? In order to install such things. So understand that and choose the approach based on these factors. Next is CloudFormation. Now, CloudFormation is a service based out, given by AWS, and the way it works is you go ahead and specify all your resources in a JSON template and then feed this JSON template into CloudFormation engine. CloudFormation engine will create a stack. A stack is nothing but but collection of all the resources which you have defined in the JSON template, and the complete resources come up for you in one shot. Now, good thing is you can go ahead and use this in order to automate your deployment. You can also do multiple deployments and ensure that the standards which you had used in one environment remains the same while the other environments come up, right? So that helps a lot, and this basically implements the concept of infrastructure as code. Okay, you can also apply few tags while you are launching a particular stack, and that tag gets replicated to all the resources which are part of that stack. And the good thing is, if you have that particular tag enabled as cost allocation tags, then everything flows down very clearly to your detailed billing file, which helps you in terms of breaking the cost, right? Across different stacks, and then you can attribute it to the respective cost centers or to the respective project teams. All right, so that is your cloud formation. Most of the AWS services are supported by cloud formation. There are few which are not, but you can always check that in the documentation. And cloud formation as a service is totally free to use. In addition to that, we have got a lot of configuration management tools. I'm sure you would have heard about Chef, Puppet, Ansible, SaltStack, etc. These are third-party tools, configuration management tools. The way they work is there will be one server and there are small agents which will be installed on different EC2 instances. In case you want to do any change on n number of EC2 instances, let's say on 20 EC2 instances, you define that change at the server level, and it is the work of the agents to basically get that change from the server and implement it on those 20 EC2 machines, right? So that is how it works. Now, AWS also gives you a service called OpsWorks, which kinds of does the same thing, right? And with OpsWorks, you can go ahead and not only do infrastructure provisioning. In addition to that, you can even deploy your application, and you can do a lot of other things. You can basically treat your infrastructure like layers, and on every layer, any change you want to do, you can do with the help of OpsWorks. Also, OpsWorks extends its support not only to instances on cloud. In addition to that, you can go ahead and make use of OpsWorks to manage your instances. Even on you can manage your instances which are on-prem as well. There is an additional charge for it. I mean, when you use OpsWorks for instances on cloud, it's totally free, whereas for instances which are there on-prem, you pay I think $0.02 per hour per instance. That's the charge, but that's really great. So when to use which one, it's more of a case that how many instances you want to manage. Sometimes works better, sometimes CloudFormation. It is possible that you can go ahead and invoke your CloudFormation templates using code, right? You might have written Java code or .NET code, and you can invoke CloudFormation template. I'll be doing separate detailed tutorials on CloudFormation and OpsWorks later on. For now, I want to show you a quick demo related to user data and AMI and how to use that. Okay, so you can see this is a simple code written for for Linux. What all we are doing here is we are installing HTTPD server, basically Apache server. We are installing web server. We are installing. After that, we are checking whether its status is on or not. Basically, we are setting it that every time this service should get started automatically. So that we are doing on the second last line, and the last line just starts the service, right? So I'm going to take this code and put it while I'm launching an EC2 instance in the user data, and we'll see whether it works, right? And I'll also show you a demo on the AMI part. So let's go there. Okay, so I'm here. I'm going to launch an EC2 instance. I will choose Amazon Linux. I'm just going to keep it micro, and here I want to give it a public IP. Yes, I want to give it a public IP, and then go to advanced details, go to user data. I'm going to take this particular code here, and I'm going to put it here. Please ensure that you always take it from a notepad so that there are no unnecessary spaces or broken lines, etc. Okay, all right, next let's go ahead, and I'm going to call it Linux web server, and we will create a security group. I'm going to open port 8080 as well, where the web server would be running. We'll go ahead, we'll launch it. I have this keep here, I'll say launch. Okay, so let this instance come up, and ideally when the instance is up, this machine should have Apache web server installed, and when I open it over the over its public IP, I should get that, right? So yeah, so it is coming up. We'll give it a few minutes. In the meanwhile, I'll go ahead and I'll try to show you how you can do things with AMI. So I'm going to launch one more instance. This time I'm going to choose my AMI. Now in my AMIs, I have an AMI which says win with IIS. So what I did, I just created a Windows machine, went ahead and enabled IIS on that, and then I have put a sample web page there, and then I created an image from that and saved it. So any such thing which you do, any custom image which you create in this way appears here in the my mi section. You can go ahead and choose this and launch a machine. So I'm going to choose my ami, my custom ami, which has IIS already baked in, and I will choose instance type and move forward. Yes, I want it to have a public IP. That's it. We'll go ahead next. I'm gonna call it win web server, and I can just go ahead and add one more rule. Give it IS runs on port 80, so I'm going to open port 80 anywhere, and we'll say review, we'll say launch. Go ahead, launch this. All right, so once these instances are working or are up and running, we should see the web server up on both the machines. Now the good thing is, on one we have done it using user data, on the other one we have done it using AMI approach, right? So it is, I've just taken an example of web server. You can think about any OS level change, any software installation, anything which can be scripted, you can do with user data, and of course anything which is more time taking and you want to make it part of AMI itself, you can go ahead and create custom AMI with that particular thing. All right, so let's give it a few minutes. All right, so I just checked that HTTPD server also would be running on port 80. So for this particular Linux machine, the security group which we had attached, I have gone and modified it from port 8080 to port 80 now. Let us go ahead and try to access both the URLs. On the first the Windows one, which is 234.150, and here it is. So when I go ahead and refresh, I see the web page. It's a simple web page which says hello. So you saw this IIS was there as part of the AMI, and hence it has come up. On the second one, when we go ahead and access this URL, I don't get anything. Okay, so it points me to the right side, right? So this is how it is. So this Apache web server came up as part of the user data which we had put. You can, if you, at any point of time you want to look at it, you can go ahead and look at that as well. Go here and you have view and change user data. So this is the thing, right? Okay, so that was a quick demo. In this way, you can go ahead and write anything which you want as part of user data. An important piece of information, whatever script you write in the user data, in case of Linux, it gets executed as root. Okay, so in case you are affecting or you are changing some of the files, please be cautious of its permission. uh, uh, Many of the times, because it is getting executed as root, some permission changes do happen. So please go ahead and experiment it and check it once, and then only put it for production or for further use. I hope you like this video. There will be further videos where I will show you and explain about CloudFormation and OpsWorks, how to use those things. Please remain in touch. If you like it, go ahead, share this video, subscribe the channel, and remain updated. All the best on your learning. Thank you. Bye bye.